and financial success go hand in hand. It's rare that they go separate of each other because in order for us to be financially successful, we have to be financially literate. There's so much miseducation, so much misconceptions about money that sometimes it's hard for us to understand how money will work for us. And if we don't understand how money can work for us, it will impair our judgment oftentimes and allow us to make like poor financial decisions, and that can lead to a very tumultuous life whether you are a parent or a child. And we've all heard the saying that money is the root of all evil, but let's think about it. Is it really? Because money is also the root of a lot of positive things. I mean, they say that the best things in life are free, but for those who have like dreams and things that they want to accomplish and achieve, we need money. We do in order to achieve them. We can call it wealth, or we can keep it simple and call it money management. But that's what we're going to be learning today. And we're going to, of course, invite a few guests, and we're going to include our children because today's episode is all about building wealth from the cradle. Hi, I'm Kiki. Welcome to Making Moves. Good evening, and again, welcome to Making Moves. I'm Kiki, and it gives me great pleasure being here with you this evening as we're discussing wealth from the cradle. Yeah, how do we build it? Yeah, how do we help our children to understand more about money and financial management? So, today, I know we have some parents who are asking, how can I teach them? When is it going to be possible for me to educate my children about wealth creation? Well, tonight is the night that you're going to get all the tips that you need. All right. We're not perfect as parents, but it is very important for us to equip our children with the knowledge and insight that they will need, especially as it relates to making sound financial decisions. Because again, without sound financial, decisions or choices, it can have a very negative impact on the lives of our children. And we want to set them up for the future. Yeah. So we couldn't have this show without inviting a few amazing children on the set with us here this evening. So I'd like to welcome Ariana Thomas. Ariana, how are you? I'm fine, thank
Hi.
you. And I'd like to welcome Zan Wilson Thombs on the set. So, how are you both doing this evening? Everybody's
Fine.
okay?
Yeah.
All right, so you children are the rich children on set. You're financially wealthy and stable and have all the knowledge you need.
According to my bank account.
According to your bank, you do.
Yes.
Ariana just dropped bombs a while ago. Are you ready to drop some bombs? I hope so. All right, Ariana, when was the first time, at what age did you actually start saving?
Around 5, 6 years old.
And how was that introduced to you? How was saving introduced to you?
Um, I wanted to become a part of the $1 million club, and my mother suggested it, and I agreed right away because, you know, I learned about some things in class, and they were saying that sometimes you have to have money put down for certain situations because life's not perfect. And so, for like just in case, and I'm a just in case person. So, if there's a situation and there's something else that can happen, I prepare for it. So,
Is it just me alone? Or is everybody else a little shocked? Ariana just said that she, learned about, finances or money management between the age of 5 to 6, and she wanted to, she heard about the $1 million club, so she wanted to be part of the $1 million club, and she's a just in case type of saver. Lord. All right, so that's your approach
yes,
to being financially
yes,
savvy.
yes.
Zion,
Yes.
what age did you start saving?
7, 8.
And why did you start saving?
I started saving because there was this when Xbox 360 came out. I wanted to save towards getting it so I could use a console play with my brother and stuff. So that's when I started saving for the Xbox 360.
Got it. All right, so you would have started saving for a specific item, the
Yeah.
Xbox 360, and you, Ariana, started saving because you wanted to be part of this $1 million club,
Yes.
which is just so mind blowing to me. But as it relates to savings, do you understand the principle of, or the importance, I should say, of continuing to save even as you enter adulthood?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, because of certain circumstances for some people, say they lose their job
Yeah.
and they may not be able to find work as quick as they thought, they have something placed down just in case.
Got it. Cool. Zan, why do you think saving is important as
Especially.
you get older?
I think it's important because when you get older, you have more responsibilities. You have bills to pay. You have, if you have kids, you have family to provide for, and they have to put food on the table and stuff like that. So I think it's important to start saving from a young child, so you have something to go back on when you get older.
When you get older. All right. Ariano, in terms of learning how to save, how instrumental were your parents in assisting you and teaching you? What did they impart on you when it comes on to the importance of savings?
Well, my mother suggested the club, the $1 Million Club, and she works at VM. So I was always influenced by a young age to start saving.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Zion, for you, how do your parents encourage you or motivate you, or what have they taught you about saving?
Uh, from when I was super young, I can't remember what age, but they kept on pushing me to save and like keep my money and don't just go out and spend it like that. And my mom taught me this, what's it called? How to save your money. You put it in saving, spending, and investing. So you put it in three categories,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's up to 30% will go in saving,
Mm-hmm.
30 spending, and then 40 for investing and stuff like that.
Got it. So you can allow your money to work for you.
Yeah.
Ariana, what are your views in terms of investing? Do you have any knowledge of investments?
Not really,
Not
but
really.
some knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, investment is really, say you want something and basically you work towards it slowly or whatever place makes you comfortable. And yeah,
Yeah. And let me find out from you in terms of items. Is there anything specifically that you wanted that you've been able to save and actually purchase?
well, when I was younger, I'm not sure if you know American Girls or like those dolls.
Dolls,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yes, with the accessories and all. I
Mm-hmm.
was obsessed with them when I was younger. And so by Christmas of that year, I'm not sure what year it was, I was able to get it because I saved.
Got it.
Yes.
And in addition to the Xbox that you would have saved for at that time, anything else that you're currently saving towards?
I'm saving towards a PlayStation 4 or 5.
Hmm.
So yeah,
So that's what all games. So dolls for you, games for you.
it
Not
pretty much.
anymore.
Not anymore. Anything else? You have any other goals you're saving towards now?
Well, not really.
Yeah,
Maybe a shopping spree with clothes.
a shopping spree with
Yes.
clothes because you deserve it.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
All right. When it comes on to your peers, you know what I mean, in your age group, do you think a lot of your peers understand the importance of saving?
Nope.
Nah, not really. No.
Not at all.
Whoa, really?
Nope.
They spend money because them have it. They don't really
You
save or
get
put
this,
on
they
anything.
get the money and then they spend it right away.
Yeah.
And in terms of being, do you think you guys or children in general, do you think it's important that you get paid for chores?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Of course. Absolutely. Do you think it's right that you get paid for work?
Yes, because I'm putting food on the table. But chores are something that you're supposed to do.
Chores is work.
Chores is work. All right,
Taking
so
time out
Yes.
of our day to do the
taking
chores.
Yes.
time out of your
Yes.
day to do chores, so you should
Very
be paid
busy
for
day. I
chores.
had to clear my schedule.
You have to
Yeah.
clear your schedule.
Yes.
You have to clear your schedule. All right, no problem. Would you be able to provide tips for persons your age on how they can save?
Always have interest.
Always have interest.
Yes. If someone borrows money from you, put interest on it.
On
I did
God.
with everyone.
On God.
Yes. Everyone.
I love it. So Ariana says, in the calmest way, interest. Ariana, please expand on that. Expound. Ariana says, anybody who borrows money from you, you have to put interest on it. I love it, and you agree. Interest.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me just finalize this now. Yeah. when it comes on to furthering your education,
Yes.
yeah? Let's say worst case scenario, your parents might not be able to afford it. Worst case scenario. Do you have it in the back of your mind that maybe, just maybe, I might need to save for college or university?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And so you'd start saving towards that
Well, if it's
from now?
what you really want to do,
Yeah.
because some people may not want to have like further education, like say you want to become a lawyer, but law school is too hard.
Mhm.
If they don't want to do it and it doesn't make them happy, don't do it.
Oh,
Don't do it
gotcha.
for other people. It's what I've learned. It's very exhausting.
Your parents are raising you so well. Can I tell you, your mother
that
is like
moment-
doing such an amazing job with you. Um, Zai, you?
I just feel like you should save towards the future, because
Yeah.
people might not, Ariana said, people might not want to go to college, but just save towards the future because you don't know what's going to
What's going
happen.
to happen?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to close off, but I just want tips from the both of you. Ariana, give us at least 3 tips on how parents can continue to assist you on your whole journey of being, financially savvy, on being frugal, on understanding money, and 3 don'ts. So do's and don'ts. Tips for parents. 3 things that they can do to assist you. 3 things that just don't work.
Um, well, that's hard. The, okay. So what they can do is first have a discussion about it and make it the discussion worthwhile listening to.
Explain.
Well, these days children don't have the attention span to sit down and listen to something boring. So if you're explaining with big words, you're gonna have to say the meaning of these words. Eventually the child is gonna get lost
Okay.
in all of what you're saying, trying to put together piece kind of. Um, don't that's a don't
Yeah,
actually.
that's the don't. So don't
Yes.
don't use big words. Don't make it boring. Don't make it too long. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
What's a do?
do.
Yeah.
So maybe you'd be able to say, huh,
Just think about
that
it.
question is hard.
All right. Well, think about it. Zai, is there anything that parents can do, in your opinion, to help children better understand how to manage money?
Teach them from young. Like, don't wait till they're like older and older. Just
Mhm.
teach them when they like understand, and then when they're at a reasonable age to understand, and then yeah, just
All right.
teach them from young.
Got it. Anything else you would like to add?
To that question.
In general, just about children and finances?
No, not really.
Not really. But you're confident that you're off to a good start
Yes.
in terms of your financial future.
Yes.
And you believe you're off to a good start. Okay, so when I get older, when he gets older, I can get a loan from you
With interest.
with interest.
Yeah, with interest.
I got it. That leads me to my final question. Actually, how do you, what's your view on parents relying on you when you get older to take care of them?
They did it when I was younger, so,
So you don't have a
it's only
problem?
fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's only fair to
only
take care
to
of them?
repair, to
To
repay.
repay. And
Yes, same.
Khalil, if I die and I only leave 1% of my wealth to you, would you be okay with that? So you can learn how to make money on your own?
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be happy, but
You what?
I wouldn't
Why
necessarily be
wouldn't
happy.
You wouldn't. But that's what
But
the
it
general
depends on where
consensus
it
is.
depends on where the other percentage is going. Let's say you're giving it to somebody in our family.
No, I'm going to spend it on myself before I die, and I'm going to
Alright,
leave you 1% so
it's
you
your
can make
money.
your own money.
It's your money. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, guys, we actually have a question that came in from one of our viewers in the comments, and they want to know, how do you actually save your money? Is it a piggy bank? Do you have it somewhere safe, or do you actually have a bank account?
Well, both the piggy bank and the bank account, what I do every like month, after the saving in the piggy bank, I deposit it into the bank.
Nice.
I just have it somewhere safe at home.
So you're just trusting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
am
but
not
we're going to work on the bank account eventually.
yeah,
All right,
eventually, eventually,
eventually.
eventually.
All right, thank you so much to our financially conscious children, Ariana Thomas and Zan Wilson Thoms. You guys have been amazing. I'm just so impressed with the both of you. All right, so Victoria Mutual is actually celebrating all their customers because this week is known as Customer Service Week. We're celebrating all our customers. We just want to say thank you so much for the patronage over the years, and we just continue to, looking forward to working with you, helping you to make your financial dreams a reality. And of course, we just want to say thank you, especially to our customers and our viewers. With that said, again, completely impressed by our amazing children. We appreciate the perspective. And now that we've actually heard from our children and getting their perspective, we want to delve a little deeper in getting a holistic approach and view to this whole issue of money management and children. So in just a few, we're going to be welcoming some more guests on the set. We're going to actually be welcoming Dr. Beverly Goldson, who is a psychologist from Family Life Ministries, as well as Sasha Gay Wright Wilson, who is the branch manager for the Spanish Town branch. The conversation continues right here on Making Moves. Wow, my heart is just so full, and I'm just like so amazed and inspired by the children that we just had on set a while ago, just to see how financially savvy they are at this age. So we're looking forward to great things from them in terms of how they manage their finances in the future. But what we really want to do is we want to delve into a deeper perspective as it comes on to finances. And so we are going to be inviting a few guests on the set just to discuss a little bit more how we can inculcate certain, principles when it comes on to money, how persons, and parents in particular can encourage their children to continue making wise and sound financial decisions. Yep. So now we're going to be welcoming on set today about making moves. We're going to be welcoming Dr. Beverly Goldson, psychologist from Family Life Ministries. Welcome, Queen. Good to see you. As well as Sasha Gay Wilson, or Sasha Gay Wright Wilson, who is the branch manager for the Spanish Town branch. And of course, everyone now is just going to share on a deeper level, again, how we can continue on this vein of helping our children to make sound financial decisions. Dr. Goldson, pleasure having you here with us
Good to
today.
be here. Thank you.
It's said that children have impressionable minds, which we know, and it's very good to instill certain values in them from a very young age, it's said. But from a psychological standpoint, is there an issue with us probably teaching our children about money too early? Can there be consequences of that?
Okay, I want to say that teaching children financial issues from an early age, it's a good thing. It's the best thing that parents can ever do. Okay? As a matter of fact, there is no specific age because children develop at different stages in life. So, for example, although psychologists say that at 7, children are more socialized and their cognitive skills are developed, then it's a good age that you could begin them. But I want to let you know that there are some children who, although at the age of 7, they are not that developed. And so they are not able to do as a particular 7-year will do. In addition to that, there might be a 5-year-old who is able to do what a 7-year-old and even surpass what a 7-year-old is capable of doing. At the same stage, though, children at that age, there are certain things that they learn, and one of the things that they learn is to delay gratification. The younger ones, it's a little difficult for them because everything they want is give me now, give me now, want it now, But as they grow older, they can be taught delayed gratification so that they don't have to get the thing the moment they want it. And this also helps to prevent what is known as what is known as self-control. You help them to have self-control so that they don't just have to run to the store and buy when they become adults and buy anything they want because of their emotions, but they will learn to wait. And so as children develop self-efficacy at that time as well, they also learn that they can manage and they will be able to spend wisely when they learn these things. But you know, as a matter of fact, the Bible teaches that you should train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. So train up your child, whatever age you think is best for that child, whatever age and stage you think the child is more capable of understanding these matters, then go ahead.
And it also lends to the fact of if you foster an environment where there is an understanding of money management and financial education, so to speak, that the child will almost naturally gravitate
Just
towards the
gravitate,
habits.
yes,
But let's
yes.
address something where the parents, for whatever reasons, might not be well off. They might not be in a great financial standing. Financial prudence might not have been their forte,
Yes.
so to speak. But for whatever reasons, they're struggling. Can that parent then impart or teach their child about financial money management or financial
Yes,
matters?
yes.
They can?
Yes, of
So
course
it's
they
not
can.
a case of do as I do as opposed to do as I say?
You may call it that, but if parents really teach their children, although social psychologists say that children learn by observation,
Yeah.
what they see you do, they
Yeah.
will do. But children also learn by direct teaching. Take what happens in the classroom every day. It's direct teaching, and children learn and they pass their exams. So parents can teach their children, although money is hard, although they do not have much money, they can teach their children about saving. As a matter of fact, what parents can do is tell their children about mistakes that they may have made when they were growing up. They didn't save, they spent foolishly, which caused them to be in the situation that they are in. So that can help. And parents need to teach their children that every mickle make a muckle and one cook a full basket. So although they may not be doing it, they can teach their child whilst telling them that the reason is they made a mistake and they don't want them to make that same mistake. So they teach them that they can save.
What
So
are
you don't
some?
have to have a lot of money
You don't
to
have
save.
to.
No.
Thank you for that. I think
No,
that
you
was.
don't.
Thank you very much,
You
Doc.
don't
That was
have
well
to have
said.
a
You
lot
don't have
of
to have a
money.
lot of money
Remember,
to teach.
every mickle make a muckle.
Yeah, man.
One
cook a full
basket.
basket.
Yes.
All right. So, in terms of methods, are there any methods that we can use to reinforce positive money management in our children?
Yes, there are. There are a lot of things that parents can do. Some of the things that parents can do, or one of the most important things that parents should do, is to teach the child to differentiate between wants and needs. Because many times it's just what we want. And when they learn to satisfy their needs, then they will understand, and this will help them. So this is one of the things that you can teach them. What you can do as a parent also is to provide allowance for your child. Whether you have them do chores for that allowance, or you just give them a weekly allowance. And as they get that money, they are learning how to spend and how to save. And then you can teach them to save for what they need. Okay? And that will ease your burden as well, because they wouldn't have to come to you for everything that they need. They would be able to
So
help
it's a sense
themselves.
of independence.
A sense of independence. Yes,
Slowly building,
yes.
yeah.
You also need to teach your child to be frugal. In other words, they need to be thrifty, to be careful, not just not saving everything and not buying what they need, but saving as well as use their money sparingly. I think probably poorer persons usually find this easier to do, to use their money sparingly. But what it boils down to is, in many cases, how you were brought up.
Yeah.
So if children are taught that, then you know that can happen. You need to be a good example for your children. Remember that they are copycats. So they watch you and they do what they see you do. But another way in which you can teach them this is when you go to the ATM machine, you take them to the ATM machine with you and let them see that you are putting in your little bit. Whatever it is, if it's $500 or it's $1,000, but you are putting in, so you teach them, and that
teach them to put in and not withdraw.
teach them to put in, yes,
and not pull. Okay.
yes, and not to pull out until there is really that need, you know, when there's that need. And when you go shopping also, take your children with you and show them, okay, so we're going to buy this, but there's this price and that price and that price, which is more economical. So you're teaching them from that early stage money management, and that is likely to go with them up through to adulthood.
You know, thank you so much for that, Dr. Goldson. I mean, a lot of, insightful nuggets that you just shared. But as it relates to poverty, like what psychologically happens to children who are in an environment where all they constantly hear from parents is, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. And that almost seems in a weird way to perpetuate the generational
Cycle.
poverty that continues on and on and on. What do you have to say about that? Do you think clearly maybe introducing financial management even in schools as well could also broaden that conversation in enlightening the children and the parents alike to break that generational cycle of poverty?
Yes, it can. I recall many years ago when I was in the classroom, savings was an important part of for the children's weekly thing.
It skipped my generation.
It wasn't in your generation.
No.
So it's long ago then,
I just see
children
wow.
would take their money to school, and they have this teacher who would collect from them, and at a later time they would take it to the bank, and they had bank accounts. Yes, that was in school many years ago.
Wow.
And that
Nice.
was one of the things of helping,
Yeah.
helping
Nice.
children to understand that they can save and they can begin saving at an early age. I want to say, though, that the cycle of poverty can be broken. It can be broken when children learn to save and to appreciate saving from an early age. As they get older, they can realize that I don't want to be in the position that my parents are. So I am going to try to save towards maybe my education, and parents emphasize education. And some of these children do very well. As a matter of fact, many children from poor homes do exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And you know what they do too? They become entrepreneurs. They sell their services to the rich kids. The rich kids who do not want to do the work or do not have the time to do the work, they do the work and collect money. And so they learn to become entrepreneurs from an early age. So the cycle of poverty can be broken.
Yeah.
Because your parents are poor, you don't have to be poor.
True.
I was from a poor family,
Yeah.
and I would say that I am poor now.
Yeah.
So I know it can be
can happen.
broken. It can happen. It can happen.
We've heard this term money hunger, money hunger. And it sometimes has a negative connotation, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can have a positive connotation. And the positive connotation is I'm so hungry for this cash because I have dreams and things that I'd like to accomplish and achieve. So it doesn't necessarily have this overarching thing of I need money because I need to bling, how are we able to teach children to balance going after money as opposed to cheddar summer can bling and mix it in with altruism, so knowing that they can save as well as help those in need?
Children generally can be selfish.
You think?
They can, yes, they can be
Yes.
selfish, but that doesn't mean that altruism can't be learned. You know, as a matter of fact, some psychologists believe that from 8 months old, children have this thing in them where they care for people, for children, other babies. So they hear, they know when the baby cries and so on, although they are babies, but they understand this thing. So as you, the parent, help the child to, in socialization, as you teach them to care about others, as you teach them to share with others, then they're learning that it's not just all for me. Teach them that everything is not just for them, but they
Yeah.
can
Share. Share.
share, you know. And, you know, my thing is parents must practice these things. So as parents practice sharing, they see them, somebody come and ask for something and they don't hide it and say they don't have any, or they don't tell the child, tell them mommy not at home, as the long time stories that you would hear, but they share what they have, even
Yeah.
their finances. And so, you know, sometimes poor people have nothing, very little money, but they share, they're still sharing.
Yeah.
And as children see this thing, they can learn that from their parents. So it doesn't matter, well, it's not a matter that they will all be just for themselves, but they will learn. And altruism is in even in church. If parents can teach their children to save their offering for when they're going to church Sabbath or Sunday, and that's a means of altruism. But one thing, a word of caution here though, is that you must teach the child that they don't give away everything. There should be a balance.
Yeah.
So there's a balance of how much you care, there's a balance in how much you share, because you have to have something for yourself as well.
True.
Okay?
As it relates to further further enhancement, so to speak, of the financial stability in our children, you have some parents who have introduced and even oftentimes incorporated their children in their businesses. Whether you'll see them in the wholesale, sometimes you might see them, on the streets, even sometimes, in the markets and stuff. Does this help with the child understanding how to balance working at a young age and making money? Does it breed resentment, or is it actually helping them to understand more about financial money management?
Okay. There are two sides to that. There is a negative side and there's a positive side. So let's not all think it's just wrong, and let's not all think that it's just right. But there's a positive and a negative side. But as children understand to exchange goods for money, then they are learning right there. They're learning and appreciating that I have to work for what I want. So many people nowadays, they're just out there on the streets, and well, I guess maybe they call it work, because begging is a work for some people. Every day they get to the street and they beg, and sometimes they make more money than the person who is working out there, So we want to instill in our children that we work for what we need or what we want. We don't just get it, and everything they ask parents for, parents give them. So bringing them in your businesses from an early age, one has to be cautious that they do not go against the law with regards to child labor, because there is a law and they have to ensure that they do not go against the law. But negatively, these children can their self-esteem can be damaged because of the negative connotation with selling and business and so on, and they are children, so they can grow up feeling I am not worthy, I'm not worthwhile, and in addition to that, they can be abused while out there, especially those on the street. They can be abused. So those are some of the negative things that can happen. But there are quite a bit of positives as well.
As well in
Yes, there are
introducing
quite a
them
bit
in the
of
business.
positives. Um, there was a research done in the US, in Los Angeles, about 3 years ago or something thereabout. Kids who were working on the street. And these kids share. It's amazing to know the amount of things that these kids share that they have learned. They say they have learned proper money management. They have learned to budget. They
That
have
big
learned
word.
to save. Yes, I mean, I was surprised when I saw that as well. But it means that there are a lot of things that they can learn. As a matter of fact, some children even said they learn how to socialize
Yes.
with
Yeah, man.
the people out there
man.
that they would not have had whilst they are home. They also learn that they get away from boredom at home. Because, sometimes the parents are out and they are home, and if they are not occupied, then they might be doing things that and get in trouble as well. So boredom, get in trouble, and even abuse. So being out there on the streets or being in the family's business can save them from a lot of things. So there are benefits as well as there are
negatives.
disadvantages. Yes.
Dr. Goldson, before we, of course, segue into
Okay.
speaking with Sasha Gay, any final points, takeaways that you'd want our viewers and extended family members, so to speak, to take away from this conversation with you?
Okay. I want to encourage parents to love their children, build a relationship with their children from they are young. Because if they're going to instill these things in them when they're older, it might be difficult if they do not have that kind of relationship with them. So it's important that they build a good and positive relationship with their child or children. And when they have this kind of relationship with their children, it will be easier for the children to hear what they say, to adopt, to adjust, and less rebellion. Although when they become teenagers, it's a rebellious stage. Yeah, some of you may have children at that stage. Well, all mine have passed through that, and they can be rebellious at that stage. But it all depends on the kind of relationship that you build with your children. So I would say, build that relationship with your children, train them the right way, encourage them, love them, show them that even though you're not working millions of dollars, you can save, and as they say, save for a rainy day. Save to meet your needs. And not your wants. Spend your money wisely. Do not just be frivolous spenders. Do not just be emotional shoppers, but shop to meet your needs.
Thank you so much, Dr. Goldson.
You are very welcome.
So many nuggets, you know what I mean? Age-appropriate lessons, learning to budget, altruism, like the list goes on. So thank you so much for imparting your knowledge with us. I'm hoping, and I really am hoping that you were taking notes a while ago, because all of these things will have a positive impact on your children and yourself. So it's a perfect way to segue into speaking with Sasha Gay, who is actually the branch manager for the Spanish Town location of BMBS. So we're making moves. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So, Sasha, when you hear words like frugal, some parents' ears start bleeding. When they hear budget, no, Sasha, we want to spend what we don't have sometimes. And sometimes it has negative consequences. Yes, so I know you spend a lot of time, helping customers in understanding how to save, how to invest, how to, build their wealth portfolio, which can even include insurance at times. I heard Steve Harvey say something the other day, and Steve Harvey was saying when he dies, he's not leaving more than maybe 5 to 10% of his wealth to his children because he says they need to work for their own. My question to you, opening question to you, though, Sasha, as much as you help everybody and instill this in everybody on a daily basis, do you practice this at home with your own children, Sasha?
Oh, wow. Excellent question, Kiki.
Yeah.
I always say, if I knew then
Oh,
what
what I
I know
know
now,
now. Whew.
then I would be a very wealthy person, you know.
Yeah.
So I try my best to instill the same lessons that I would give at work, or the same financial information that I will give at work. You know, I give it to my children, because if I had gotten that when I was young, then the financial decisions that I made, you know, some of them I would
Yeah.
have done something a whole lot different, right?
Yeah.
So I do share the information with my children. I encourage them to save. You know, I hear Dr. Goldson talk about, you know, giving them allowances.
Yeah,
So I ensure that I do that, and then encourage them to save from that, because I have three beautiful children, you know, 18 and
Woo.
15 and 7.
Yes.
So quite a different, you know,
Yes.
set to deal with in
Yeah.
terms of the age
Age
gap and
gap.
stuff.
Right.
So children learn
Yes.
differently.
Yeah.
And my 7-year-old, what she would say and do is totally different from what the middle one would do. So
Yeah.
it's all about making sure that you're giving the information to them in bite size, that they're able to take from it and apply it. So definitely, what I talk at work
Yeah.
goes
So you
right
practice
at
what you
home.
preach.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Dr. Goldson mentioned being frugal, you know, delayed gratification for children. I think almost every parent that's watching can relate to the nightmare that it is when you take a child into the supermarket. Mommy, can I have? But mommy, can I have? How do you teach a child at that age about delayed gratification, like in a real life scenario?
All right, so I normally say, because children will tell you, you know, I want this and I want that. You know, my son, for example, the other day, he sent me a WhatsApp. So we're in the house together, and he sent me a WhatsApp with this iPhone thing. I don't even know,
Yes.
some expensive iPhone. And I said, oh, my birthday is coming up. Is this for me? And he sent back a message to say, no, can you buy me this? And I'm saying, sir, no. You know, so you have to teach them that you have to save towards specific goals. You know, so it's important that when you go into the supermarket with them, the information that you would have shared, you know, before,
Is
they
now
would have
put
been
into real life
applying it, you
practice.
know.
Yeah.
So I really don't have that much, because I have been, you know, basically teaching them,
Got
you
it.
know. So yeah.
Some persons might feel that when you start teaching a child about money and finances, and it's almost like robbing them of an opportunity to be a child. Like, shouldn't a child just be a child and just think about play a game and run up and down? And why are we trying to impart this knowledge on our children?
That's an excellent question, Kiki. And I believe that children should be children, but at the same time, we are talking about um, helping our children to become the best them in the future.
Ah.
So I believe that if we give them the information, the financial education from a very early age, then, you know, Dr. Goldson said, you know, train up a child in the way he should grow.
And he will never
So
depart.
whenever you're giving them this information from foundation, you know, when they become adults, it's so much easier. Sometimes as adults, when we tell people about, you know, saving, we encourage them to save, they'll say to you, oh, I don't have enough, I can't do it because
Yeah.
I have this kind of bills and I have that kind of bills. But, and saving is not a burden. So it's not a
That word
burden.
saving just sound like such a big word to some
Yeah.
people, like it's just impossible.
It is right. So if we're teaching them this from the get-go, from a very young age, then when they become adults, it's a part of them.
Yeah.
And so they won't even know how not to save.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's like a flip, yeah, so they won't even know how not to save.
Yeah.
Again, so today's topic is all about wealth from the cradle. Viewers, if you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to, you know, put them in the comments, and our financial services specialists will certainly, you know, get to you on whatever it is that you need to know. So what's the best way to start then, helping our children building wealth from the cradle?
All right. So what I normally say to persons, from the minute you're thinking about having children, you know, extending your family,
I'm quit
that
with you. Sasha, I quit. From what? From when?
from whenever you start thinking of
From-
the thought,
The thought.
the thought that I'm going to start my family,
Yeah.
you need to start thinking about the child's future.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So usually, the lady becomes pregnant and, the friends and the family will be doing the baby shower and stuff. Don't just do the clothes and the bottles and the
Yes.
diapers, right? You might want to say to your friends, purchase a gift cert, you know? Start open a savings account for the child because we're talking about their future and their education. So definitely you want to be thinking from that stage and then moving it on to tertiary education because we know that the fees for tertiary education is exorbitant, right? So we have to make the plan. So the moment you start thinking about family, you need to start thinking
And
about
just
their
in case we never
finances.
started thinking from then,
Yes.
what other solutions are there? But yeah, what other like if we were behind the eight ball in planning, then how do we get on top of it? If we never made the plans from the get go, the children are now 7, 8, 9, 10. What do we do now?
All right, so if you never started planning, just start.
Just start.
The important thing is just to
Start.
start, right?
No, yeah.
So don't throw your hands up in the air, oh my goodness, I
Yeah.
never started.
Yeah.
Just start. Every little makes a muckle.
Yeah.
Yeah? And a start, trust me, is the best move you can ever
Is the
make.
best move. You'll see stuff online sometimes that encourages you to not just save, but you pay yourself, you save, you invest, and you have some to give away, some to share. Yeah. What are some financial and investment solutions that are offered through Victoria Mutual that can help persons to build their wealth portfolio?
All right, so we're talking about our children, right? We have what we call a Safe to Grow. I hear Dr. Goldson talk about
Safe to grow.
Safe to Grow.
Love it.
So I hear Dr. Goldson alluded to the fact that when teachers would encourage the children to save.
Yeah.
Yes, and at VMBS we also have that. So we're in the schools and we're encouraging our children to save.
Yeah.
So we have our Safe to Grow plan, which parents can open for the children, minimum of $200 Jamaican dollars, only 200 Jamaican dollars. And they can use those accounts to access scholarships through VMBS, right? We have other products, iSave accounts. So these are contractual accounts, Kiki, because from time to time people say, oh, I want something that is going to compel me to always save, right? So we have these iSave accounts. They are contractual accounts. You basically determine how much you can
Creative
save.
campaign, by the way. The iSave campaign. Very creative.
Very.
Yes.
It's a beautiful, beautiful product.
Yeah.
A lot of person go for it because people have that specific goal that they want to get to within a specific time. You understand what I'm saying? So you basically determine how much money you can set aside each month and you save that in your iSave account. So we have that. And then we talk about planning for the children's tertiary education.
Yeah.
There is heritage. So if you're thinking about university and you're sending your child overseas, then definitely look at the Heritage Fund. And at VMBS, we do provide, we source that US or foreign currency for you to make it, so much easier.
Yeah.
So definitely we have a whole lot of things going on. We believe in our product.
Yeah.
And we're encouraging everyone just to come and talk to a wealth advisor, come and talk to a VM rep.
I'm going to take it a step further. How do you advise your child or our children which product might be best for them?
All right, so it basically depends. It all depends on the need. It depends on the need.
Yeah, man.
So we normally say to the parent, what is the need that you have? What is the timeline that you're looking at?
Right.
And then based on the product that we have, then we come up with a solution, that will meet that specific need. And I want to say that, we talk about savings not being a burden. Then make the whole thing fun for the child. You understand? So for me, for example, I have a match it plan with my children. So if they say to me, okay, mommy, I want to save $20,000 for the year because this is what I want to get at Christmas, I say to them, all right, I will match it. So if you get to your 20,000 goal, I will match that 20,000. Nice. So make it fun for them.
You know I'm up for adoption?
Boy, I tell you. Remember, I have three.
Three, okay, all right. I won't burden you. I won't burden you. Yeah.
But definitely make it fun. My other Isabel and Elena. So when we go to the supermarket and we get the coins back,
Yeah.
you know, they're running, they're trying to get them. Sometimes they scrape out the bag,
Yeah.
you know, scrape out the car. So we just have to make it fun. They're children and they need to enjoy. They
Yeah.
need to see that it's not a heavy thing.
Yeah.
It's something that they
Yes.
can actually do.
And it's attainable. It's something
Yeah.
that can be done.
Definitely.
All right, so we're moving into this whole cashless thing, and
Mm-hmm.
we want children to have a certain level of independence.
Yeah.
What are your views on debit cards for children? Should we give children debit cards?
That's an excellent question, and that's where the world is going. I believe it depends on the parent. You're the one who know your child or your children. So it's really up to the parent if you believe that your child is able to manage it. Dr. Goldson talked about, you know, a 7-year-old
Age
might be,
appropriate.
you know,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
advanced, or a 10-year-old might not be so advanced as a 7-year-old. So, but for us at VM, what we do is that we apply limits to the card. So there's that level of security, there's that level of comfort for the parents. So put in a limit, and then you can always sign up to our online banking platform where you can monitor the child. How are they spending? You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So definitely.
And it's the way of the world, because a
Yeah.
lot of first world countries are actually doing this, and it's not a big deal. You'll talk to them, and you'll hear, oh yeah, man, my 14-year-old has their debit card,
Yes.
and I monitor it and
Yes.
stuff. So I think it's just getting Jamaica to
Yeah.
get sensitized to that
Yes.
whole direction
And
that
it's
we're
showing
moving
them,
in.
teaching them responsibility.
It is, it is.
Yeah.
Sasha, I'm going to put you on the spot, yeah? I want you to look at the camera and speak to the parents out there who might be facing hard times right now. And I want you to encourage them and advise them how they might be able to get a buy-in from their children about how to save and money management. So go ahead. Let's see camera.
All right. So excellent question,
Yes.
Kiki. So what I would say to parents, so we want to ensure that we're giving our children, or we're living by the example, or we're living by what we preach, right? So sometimes parents will say, yes, I can't afford to save, but we talk about budgeting, and there's a 50-30-20 rule to budgeting, yes? And it can be used by anybody, even the children. So 50% of your income should be used towards those compulsory obligations, those that you can't do without. Your light, your mortgage, those things. And then you have the 30%, which is the discretionary, or what we'll call the want, right? And then we have 20%, which is the savings. So we cannot leave savings out of it. So if we practice these things, practice budgeting, and transcend it to our children, then definitely we'll be able to achieve those financial goals.
Oh, Sasha, thank you so much for that. So you said it's 50, 30, 20.
20.
So it's 50 for the needs, and 30 for the wants, and 20 for the actual budget.
You got it.
Thank you so much. Sasha Gay Wright Wilson, our branch manager for the Spanish Town location. And you shared so much insight with us. Thank you so much. And I loved what you said about being able to match the savings of the children. All right. And Dr. Beverly Goldson, thank you so much. So we can find you at Family Life Ministries. And you brought so much nuggets, so many nuggets to the discussion today. I loved when you spoke about age appropriation, like just understanding who your child is and understanding how to explain money based on the level that the child is at. Delayed gratification, that was major today. And just when you mentioned about altruism, doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you, and in addition, training the child the way you want them to go, and they will never depart. So thank you both queens for a wonderful discussion today. And I'm sure that after you, our viewers, our parents, and our children watch this, that you will certainly be making moves. Remember, there's so many products being offered. Save to Grow, the I Save, and the Heritage Fund, products that are right here at Victoria Mutual. All right. So again, to all our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. It was our pleasure, as always, having you this evening, as your financial well-being is certainly our commitment to that. I hope that you are definitely leaving here with a plan, and more than a plan, it's all about ensuring your child's financial security as they head into the future, right? And we have all the solutions here for you at Victoria Mutual. So if you have any queries, if you'd like any further information, please call us at 876-754 954-8627 or email manager@myvmgroup.com. All right, and you can also visit our website at vmbs.com for all the information. All right, so I'm Kiki. It's been more than a pleasure from, as we say, from all the discussions we've had, man, making moves, building wealth from the cradle. All right, walk good and be safe. Bye, guys.